day 5 and I'm doing an overnight train trip to Berlin, about 10 hours. Why did I do this to myself? After a very broken sleep, I arrive in Berlin, store my luggage and head out to link up with a walking tour. Yep, my favourite way of learning about a new city. So I grew up watching Fawlty Towers, and the iconic line that's repeated over and over again from that show is Basil Fawlty repeatedly reminding himself, "Don't mention the war," when talking to a German customer of his. Ballet, anyone? I was repeating the same mantra over and over in my head when I arrived in Berlin, but the thing is, I don't need to mention it because there are memorials and museums and reminders of the World Wars and the Cold War all over the city. Hugely significant world events happened in this city in the previous century. It is unrivaled in significance, and the difficult 20th century has not been swept under the carpet. It is now nearly 35 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall and approaching 80 years since the end of World War II. These are two events I think I know a reasonable amount about, but being here and reading the stories and breathing the air, so to speak, where these events actually took place, has brought a solemness and a reverence for those that died for their race or their beliefs in such a terrible patch of human history. So I'll start by diving into the more recent event, the Cold War, which led to the communist-built Berlin Wall in an effort to stop their people from crossing over to the West.
And after World War II, Germany was divided up into 4 different zones.
Actually, I might be wrong, but I think what I'm walking on here is the old Berlin Wall, the route of the old Berlin Wall. I'm assuming that's original Berlin Wall.
Now, how you can tell whether you're in East or West by looking at this, if you're reading this plaque upside down, you're in East Berlin. If you're reading it right side up, you're in West Berlin here. So
West Berlin, East Berlin, West Berlin, East Berlin. Checkpoint Charlie, right in front of McDonald's. Checkpoint Charlie is infamous, not because it was the only crossing, because it wasn't, but because it captured the imagination as tales of great imaginative escapes grabbed international headlines. Some of those great escapes are documented in the Checkpoint Charlie Museum. Tales of hidden compartments in cars, the tale of the woman who was hidden within the car seat, a family that used a zip line over the wall. There were lots of courageous and determined examples provided, documenting multiple escapes to freedom. The actual border at Checkpoint Charlie. But there is also a memorial in Berlin, the White Crosses, to those that tried to escape but didn't quite make it. Not far from the Brandenburg Gate is a memorial to Ronald Reagan. One of the very first acts of the Nazi Party was a book burning right in front of the university. The Topography of Terror Museum memorialises the Nazi rise to power and the abuse of that power. It's appalling reading, but nevertheless important for mankind to not forget these events so that they will never happen again. The Berlin story has 44 different rooms, each with a different perspective on Hitler's rise to power and eventual suicide. The setting is within a bunker from World War II days, which protected significant numbers of the local population from Allied air raids. It includes a mock-up of Hitler's personal bunker and the room in which he almost exclusively spent the last few weeks of his life. Unfortunately, the Berlin story does not allow photography, hence I have nothing to show for it. This car park is where Hitler's bunker used to be. No memorial, no nothing. So literally Hitler committed suicide somewhere around here. His body was burnt somewhere around here. And according to our tour guide, the Russians have his remains. All up, I spent about 2 hours in each of the museums, so about 6 hours in total on my final day in Berlin. My brain was well and truly at saturation point. Berlin is not a classically beautiful city. The buildings are a bit more brutal in style, but you come here for the history. Well, I reckon you do. And my brain has been well and truly fed with all the tours and museums and the facts and the figures that I've been exposed to over the last 2 days. It's time to move on.
One moment. Ring number 1 is okay. And ring number 2 is okay. Perfect. It's okay.
Next stop, Prague in the Czech Republic. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.